Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Back, your weekly podcast reviewing games of the Game Pass collection, bringing you two unique perspectives from varying scale range. I am the Drilla Killer of this episode, Andrew, and joining me, the one you wish you could dig a nice deep hole and bury in, Keith.
That's me. But I'm gonna just try to give some embodiment of Liz to this episode, so that there's three unique perspectives in a way.
Are you going to do a voice?
I'll see if I can jump something up.
This week, me and Keith decided to do two quick games. This is the first time we've ever, I think, done a double. Is it? I think so.
No, not as maybe as an official for Patreon episodes we have, and there's had to have been a couple that we did. We've been doing this for 5 years. There's no way that there's been episodes where just you and Liz were on.
Well, no. I mean, a double as in like two games in one episode.
I'm sorry. I was like, wait, what do you mean we've never done an episode with two people? Okay. Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, Keith.
Sorry, I was half checked out. Speaking of the podcast.
Well, this week we decided to play Steamworld Dig and Steamworld Dig 2. We decided to do both of these games because Steamworld Dig 1 is very quick. And honestly, they're kind of similar, but also not. I don't know. We just decided to lump these games together. But Steamworld Dig is brought to you by Image and Forum Studios, which I forgot. We did do a game from the studio, Keith. Do you remember what it was?
No, they have a Steamworld Builder game.
Yep, but that's surprisingly not them. And we also didn't cover that game.
Okay.
It was a game you picked.
How much did you hate it?
Nah, not that much.
Okay, so that rules out Soccer Story and
third-person platformer is what it was.
Dead Cells?
No, the Gunk.
Oh yeah, that was a great game.
It was. It wasn't that bad. But yeah, this is the second game. Well, Steamworld Dig 1 is the second game in the Steamworld series. The very first one they did was Steamworld Defense or Tower Defense, and then there was Steamworld Dig 2. Then Steamworld Dig, then Steamworld Dig 2. Then they did Steamworld Heist, which Steamworld Heist 2 is coming up. I've never played Steamworld Heist. I've heard a lot of people praise that game like crazy.
What style is that?
What'd you say?
What style is that?
Heist. I do believe it was 2D. I'm pretty sure it's a 2D kind of like Metroidvania platformer.
I have Google.
You play as different bots, obviously doing heists. I'm pretty sure it's 2D. But and then they not from the studio, but part of the world is Steamworld Build, which just recently hit Game Pass as well. I did play a bunch of that game.
Turn-based tactics shooter. So you'd probably really like Heist.
Oh, it's a tactics shooter. Oh yeah, no, that definitely would be up my jam then. But so the story of Steamworld Dig 1, you are playing a robot who his uncle died, so you inherited his abandoned mine. Very, original concept here. But yeah, you play a robot called Rusty, and yeah, you just get a message from your uncle saying like, "Hey, take over my mine. I don't know how much longer I'm able to do this." So you end up going to this town. What's the town called? Rust Bucket? No, what? Tumbleweed. I'm already forgetting. I don't know. It's kind of irrelevant, but it's literally a town with like 4 bots in it. And yeah, in Steamworld Dig 1, it is a 2D game where you're literally just digging down. You are getting resources, bringing them back up, upgrading your pickaxe, getting new abilities. I guess you could maybe describe this game as a roguelike.
Yeah, but not really.
I wanted to steal that line before you did it, Keith.
No more than you could describe Spelunky as a roguelike. But but to the people who will, I guess you could argue this is a roguelite at least, because it's not procedurally generated. You
could argue almost any game is a roguelike. Let's be honest.
Trust me, I've been playing a lot of college football.
You've been playing a lot of Balatro.
Also.
You're playing so much Balatro in college football. But so that is the story of Steamworld Dig 1. And in Steamworld Dig 2, you are playing one of the denizens of the city who is trying to find out what happened to the character in the first one. Steamworld Dig 2 is still kind of the same, but it's a bit more of a Metroidvania platformer. But it's still a 2D game. It's just in 1, you're digging down, and 2, you're kind of digging left and right. But yeah. So Keith, was this a game or a pass for you?
Not an exuberant game by any means. Steamworld 1, I didn't even I could beat it, and I wouldn't even be like a a gripe to go back and complete it. It might be something I do someday, but I jumped over to SteamWorld 2 a lot quicker because I was just kind of getting bored with the first one. And I'm sure that gets a little more exciting, but that one's fine. I think SteamWorld 2 is pretty fun though. So I definitely call it a game, but not a definite game.
Yeah. So you said you started with 2 first, right?
No, I did start with the first one.
Oh, okay.
I played maybe 2 hours or so of that, maybe a little more, give or take. But yeah, not a ton. And then I plugged probably 5 to 7 hours, I'd say, into SteamWorld 2.
See, I think it's funny. I've heard from actually multiple people that they started with SteamWorld Dig 2, and then they were like, then I tried 1, and 1 was a little rough. And it's like, well, yeah. This to me also blew my mind. Whenever I start a game, and I know there's multiple in a series, in my mind, I'm like, I have to start with 1. And I always assumed everyone else thought that way too, but apparently not, because I've heard multiple people like, yeah, I started with 2 first, and then tried to go back to 1. It's like, what the heck are you doing?
I mean, I feel like a lot of people have probably done that with Halo. And I think that maybe that's a difference of where you grew up with Halo and then someone who's like picking up in the middle, they're like, well, Halo 3 looks good. All my friends are getting that. I'm going to get it. And then you go back and play the others. But I largely agree with you.
Because I remember that was my issue when we were going to start Persona. And we did, I keep forgetting, we did Persona 4? Right? I don't know.
Yes.
But either way, I know there's like 6 of the series.
If that matters.
And so I had to tell people in our Discord, I'm like, does it matter? Like, do like, am I going to be lost to the story? And everyone's like, no, it's just their own game. It's like, okay, good. But that's like the only time, like, to me, I have such a hard time. If there's a game that's like with a number after it, I'm like, I can't do it. I didn't play the other ones. And I just can't start this game. But other people have no issues.
Imagine if a studio released a game in that actual order, like they did SteamWorld 2 first. It's nicer, it's cleaner, it's more built upon as a concept, and then they just release a SteamWorld and it's actually a version. Here you go, everybody. I don't know.
I mean, that's like how Star Wars did it. They started the movies with episode 4, 5, and 6.
Fair enough. And then they went back and made crappier versions of the same world. At least that's what everyone tells me, I think. I don't know. I've still never seen them.
But anyway, yeah, that's a whole other rabbit hole I could go down.
Yeah, trust me. I'm not trying to open you up to that. Just carry on with
Keith, you want to talk about Star Wars? Do you also want to talk about the Halo TV show, which is finally canceled?
I was going to say, let's just get the cat out of the bag on that one. Halo 2 has been canceled. Throw some applause effects in after that, and let's carry on with SteamWorld.
Hold on. There we go.
Well, welcome, everybody. We did it. You can thank Game Pass Scrapback for that. They heard us out. There's definitely nobody else and everybody else who hated it as well.
I like you had to bring up the Halo show. I knew I was going to somehow rip in the Halo show in this episode. But anyway, so I'll finally go. For me, these are a game as well. I played the first Steamworld Dig way back in the day. Because little trip down memory lane here. When I was a wee youngin', there was a Flash game that you remember Flash games, Keith, and you played on the internet.
Oh, I sure do.
There was a game called Motherload. I remember I can't remember what it was. It was probably Newgrounds or something like that. But you literally played a tractor drilling machine and you literally just dug down, got resources, went up, upgrade your tractor so you can keep going down deeper and deeper. And I remember my brother kept making fun of me. He's like, that game looks so stupid. Why are you spending so much time on it? But I found it so addictive. Then when I saw SteamWorld Dig, I was like, this is Motherload. This is my jam. And I loved it. I played it so much. I can't say so much because obviously it's not a very long game. But I loved the first one. And then when the second one came out, I was like, I love the first one. I'm going to love the second one. Honestly, the second one took me a bit to like. Because once I realized you're not just digging down and you're actually doing things, you're actually traversing maps and it's a Metroidvania and you're unlocking skills to traverse things. I was like, oh, this is a different game. But then I was like, but I also don't hate this game. Oh, you found it, Keith. CrazyGames.com.
Quick Google search. Not that difficult.
Oh, I didn't care to search it, but thank you.
But the funny thing is, though, I had to. I was curious. I'm fairly certain you got me playing this game as well because this looks familiar. And
oh, really?
I'm almost positive I played.
And now you're going to start playing it while we're recording.
I resisted the urge to hit play. I will wait until later.
This progress will save on your device. Great, so you can play Motherload. But anyway, so yeah, both of these are a game. if you are only going to play one of them, I guess I'd recommend Steamworld Dig 2. But I don't recommend playing Steamworld Dig 2 then going back to 1, because 1 is a bit aged. And like I said, the majority of the game is just going down and collecting stuff and coming back up. So the second one definitely is a lot more refined and has way better of a story, way more interesting mechanics. But both of these are fantastic. Yeah, a lot of quality of life. That's true. But yeah, both of these, you can't go wrong. Because also, too, I'm just going to do this segment now. For time to beat, the first Steamworld Dig, you're looking at 5 to 6.5 hours. And the second one is 7.5 to 10 hours. So literally, these are weekend games. You can actually beat Steamworld Dig 1 super quickly. There's actually an
under an hour or something.
Yeah, there's an achievement to beat the game in like under an hour, which when you actually play the game is actually very doable. When you realize what's going on in the mechanics, you're like, oh, this actually is pretty easy. But yes. But anyway, so getting into the story now, as I said, it's kind of continuing the story of you are these robots and a post-apocalyptic Earth. Humanity's gone. In the first one, you were playing this robot named Rusty, trying to dig underneath, and you are uncovering an ancient technology and some evil creatures that are starting to appear. And you're kind of uncovering the mystery of that. In the second one, you're playing Dorothy, who was one of the citizens of the town. And you realize that, the character from the first one never came back, and you want to figure out what happened to him. So you go on an adventure to figure out what happened to him. But the story is connected between both these games. But yeah, overall, the story is pretty good. I actually looked this up just recently, and I did not realize how much of a connective story all the SteamWorld games have, except for Heist. I don't think Heist has anything connected. But SteamWorld Tower Defense, SteamWorld Dig 2, and SteamWorld Build all are kind of a connected story. And it's actually kind of cool. And it's interesting, too, because it's dark, but when you play the game, it's kind of lighthearted.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it had a very dark storyline to it. I mean, yes, I know that, like, I don't know, you come up, you find your uncle dead, I think, in the first one, if I remember, and then you're going to avenge someone who maybe is the bad guy. Is about where I was, I think. I don't know. But I guess, like, having a little mini-verse of games in different genres, like, that's a cool concept. I can get behind that.
Yeah. But yeah, the story in the first one is not great. The first one, I remember like beating it and not really know what the heck happened. It's not something that's like, oh, this is super apparent what's going on. The second one is way better, because the first one, you're just getting a little bit of snippets from the citizens when you go up to town, and all they essentially keep saying is like, oh, good job, you found some new minerals, these look good. Wow, you found a new technology. Well, actually, the noises they make are more like bah, 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 which is also kind of annoying.
I don't love that, but
But yeah, the story, unfortunately, is okay in both of these. I'll give it that. There is one thing I always wanted to bring this up. I just remembered. There's a pop culture reference to the first one that I remember the first time I saw it really made me chuckle. You find a game store in the underworld. You know what I'm talking? Okay. There's all right. So when you're digging, this is a post-apocalyptic Earth, so obviously humans were here. But once you dig far enough, you actually find an old GameStop, and it says "Finally released Half-Life 3," and it shows a line of people waiting at the door, and they're all dead. So literally, the game was just about to get released, and the end of the world happened. That one always made me laugh, because it's like, yeah, we're never gonna get Half-Life 3.
That's one that I never played.
You never played the Half-Life games either?
No.
Oh my word, Keith.
I know. I don't know what I am.
Well, actually, I don't know if you would like those, because it's a first-person shooter and it's a good story. Those are two things you don't like.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind single-player first-person shooters, especially like Borderlands. That's a first-person shooter. Freaking love Borderlands. I don't know. That's a whole different rabbit hole. But first-person shooter as a basis does not set me to a no.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know if you have anything else to add to the story, Keith.
No, I mean, because I didn't play all the way through the first one, I just thought you were the like daughter or relative of the person you were looking for. That was kind of how I interpreted all the text of who she was talking to. But no, otherwise, really nothing to
add. So as far as the gameplay goes, though, the first one is like I said, fun. I've already played the first one. The only thing that sucks about it, I hate the combat. The combat's just not fun and annoying. There's a lot of times I feel like with enemies, you just you gotta take hits. You essentially just stand there and you're just swinging your pickaxe because you don't have a dodge. You don't have like really kind of easy ways to move out of the way. The combat in the first one sucks.
Yeah. And I think that was probably the thing that kind of set me to like, I'm kind of done with this pretty quickly. I got down, I don't know, I think like 4 or 5 like channels of what's it called, the like fast travels or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, so I got like decently far down. I think I don't know how far it fully goes down, but it really just became, like you said, just meat grinder of enemies and hope you have enough health to survive them, and that was that, or just ignore them entirely, because for the most part they're all very easily avoidable. So it's like, yeah, the combat stinks, but you don't have to do it. But also I kind of wanted to, because otherwise it is kind of boring. Just tink 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 smash. Okay. And you're just going through that motion forever and ever. But it is a nice little mindless game, and kind of what is it you always say? Palate cleanser.
Oh,
just in the sense of like a nice, cozy, relaxing little gameplay.
What I think is weird about the first one too, the first one is very much the same. Like you said, of just kind of digging, chink, tink, tink, and just knocking these rocks. But once you get to like near the end, it becomes kind of wild and instantly becomes like a platformer. Lasers are everywhere. Enemies are everywhere. You're no longer mining. It's all about just surviving. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Kind of spoiler, I guess. But yeah.
I mean, for a game that old, I think that's kind of fair.
Yeah. But the second one, the gameplay though, like I said, is way better.
I just noticed my title.
For those listening, I just changed Keith's title to Loser. I literally typed that out when you were talking about how you never played Halo or Half-Life. I just went, Loser.
Hate you.
I was sitting there, it made me wonder. I was like, does Keith actually see his title here?
No, I put myself on picture-in-picture because having a giant picture of myself on the left side of the screen was distracting and weird. So I moved it, and I wasn't even looking until just now. Hate you.
But yeah, Steamworld Dig 2 is it is far better as far as gameplay goes. As I said, it's like more of a Metroidvania. In the first one, you do get some abilities. You get a hand drill, which helps a little bit in combat. You get a rocket fist, which also helps a little bit in combat, but it requires energy or water to use. But in the second one, yeah, you end up getting like grappling hook. You get way better, interesting items, better combat. Like I said, it's
upgrade your items.
Yeah, well, you upgrade your items the first one.
Yeah, but
it feels way more impactful in the second one.
Yeah, you like upgrade their like how they work, and I don't know if you can, I guess, maybe fully unlock everything, but it almost felt like you had to balance a little bit more of what you wanted to do. I didn't know if you ever fully get enough tokens or whatever to upgrade everything.
I don't.
And if you do, I mean,
I don't think it beat the second one.
Worth it? I was gonna say, and if you do, is it worth it to put in the 10 to 12 hours to do that versus the 6 to 7 to beat it? I guess.
I don't think so. I never found the game very hard. In the second
I know.
one.
I'm not about even difficulty. I'm just talking about, and that's what I'm saying. Like, is it worth it to you don't need those items to make it easier. So is it worth it to put in extra time just to make sure everything is upgraded?
Probably not, unless you just want to be a completionist.
Exactly. So that's kind of what I'm saying. But all that to say, everything. Really, I think everything. They really just took the first one and said, we're just going to improve every facet of it. The graphics obviously are vastly improved, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the gameplay, even, it's just quality of life, that like the energy, you have to get the water. In the first one, the water puddles dry up as you use them. In the second one, they don't. Like when you die, you don't lose everything. You sell most of it and lose a little bit of it. And it's like, you don't have to worry about chasing your body. So it's just all of those little things, all those skill changes just make it better.
Oh yeah. But yeah, just everything, as you're saying, is like so much more refined in the second one. So that's why I would say don't play the second one and go to the first one. If you're interested in both these games, like I said, it's not hard to beat them. So the second one is a bit more meaty as well. You're looking at 7.5 to 10 hours to beat on that one. But still, once again, it's not a dreadfully long game. You literally can knock both these games out in a good weekend. But yeah, the combat is just it's so much better. It is kind of great to like actually play the second one. I remember, like I said, the second one I first was kind of like, I'm not just going down and collecting rocks. I don't like this. But like after I like actually played it more, I was like, okay, this makes sense. This actually is more of a game than the first one.
Yeah, you start to like spread out into the desert. You
Yeah,
have to like
you have
this
actually
like
different
upward
biomes.
climbing. Yeah,
The first
it's an
one's
entirely
just
different world.
rocks and caves. Steamworld Dig 1. It is funny, like, because I started replaying the SeaWorld Dig 1. It just, I had a harder time going back to this game, and I loved it back in the day.
You know, I would say though, we keep saying, you know, don't play SteamWorld Dig 2 and then go play SteamWorld 1, Dig 1. And for the most part, I wouldn't say that for any game.
This is
But in
America.
this
You can do what you want.
Well, true. And I guess if you have Game Pass, really, you can do whatever you want, assuming that they give you both as well. But really, I would say even if you don't beat it, not for the story, not for anything more than actually the gameplay, to appreciate what SteamWorld Dig 2 is. Because I think even if I just went straight into Dig 2, I'd be like, this is fun. I like it. But I don't know if I would have liked it as much if I hadn't played Dig 1.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because I wanted to like Dig. And I just couldn't find the joy. but then I found, you know,
I
then I
have
played
no
SteamWorld Dig
joy.
2. Yeah, that's dramatic, I guess, but you get my point. And I just think that it made me appreciate SteamWorld Dig 2 that much more. Like I actually get like excited talking about it.
Yeah. But I try to remember. There's boss fights in SteamWorld Dig 2. It's been some time since I played it.
Yes.
There's some bosses in 1. And like I said, the combat's not very good. So it's just like, this isn't very interesting. But I just having the just stuff you have in 2, like just having the grappling hook is awesome. Every game, like I said, always needs a grappling hook.
Well, just like, I mean, in the first one, it was ladders and you could only carry so many of them.
Yep.
And it was one square at a time. So if you had a really deep hole that you had dug, it was going to be a long time building that ladder back up probably. And it just wasn't worth it. I guess, especially once you get the fast travels, but
yeah, what you need is a teleporter and you can only carry one teleporter.
Oh, that's
if you didn't buy one, then
Yes.
you're climbing your way up. That sucked. I hated
Or
that
you
in 1.
used it too early because you thought you were
Yeah.
going to die and then you got health and you carried on and you're like,
and then you found one anyway and you dropped it. So you're like, well, now I got to go home and buy a new one.
Yeah. The whole nonsense of that system was, I forgot that that's what it was. And I think that was another one of those things that I was like, I'm kind of getting annoyed with this because you had to go get your body, because if you didn't get your body, you probably had a bunch of really good stuff that it's just, you needed that back. It was a pain in the butt.
But yeah, the core mechanic of this game, as we said, is digging, collecting minerals, going back to town, selling those minerals, upgrading your character. That's pretty much
Roguish.
the game.
I think that's what I'm going to call it.
And dying and collecting your body, that's also kind of a roguelike.
It's not roguelike. It's not roguelite. I'm going to say roguish is what I'm going to call everything from now on. It's roguish.
Well, actually, no, dying and collecting your body, that's more Souls-like.
Ooh, rogue Souls-ish. That's a whole new thing we're talking about. Is there a true Souls-like roguelike? Because that might be my real entry point into a Souls-like.
I don't know. I'm sure we could find one. I'm sure there's got to be one.
Yeah.
You're like sitting here like, ooh, I should make this game.
I wish I knew how to make video games. Nice. You got so excited about this idea. Oh, you can mark clips. It's great. Great for the podcast.
Well, all right, my camera's off.
What did you do?
Kicked it out. Oh, whatever. People don't need to see my face.
Man, so it's just me.
Yep. But yeah. So I mean, I guess there's really not much more to talk about with the gameplay. So we can go to the audio. The audio kind of sucks this game. I actually recommend not listening to it. The second one's a bit better. The music's better in the second one. The first one, as you said, it's just a whole lot of just hearing the chink, 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 chink of the pickaxe over and over again. The monsters make repeating noises. The NPCs just make robot bah, 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 bah noises, which is kind of annoying. I actually recommend not doing the audio in the first one. The second one, like I said, the music is actually way better. But yeah, don't care for the audio.
I think I played both of them pretty much without, because the one thing is for sure there's really nothing of like audio cues you need to worry about. Like, oh, here comes an enemy. You see all the enemies, they're there. It's nothing overly surprising in the way of that. So yeah, this is definitely a game you can play without the audio, even if it doesn't bother you, just because you just don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're literally not missing anything. So this is another thing that's great about having a weekend game. It's just, hey, just listen to your own podcast, listen to your own music, turn your brain off. It's a very mindless kind of game with it too. So yeah, I guess that's it for audio. Man, Keith, we're crushing this. As you can see, this is why we kind of ended up deciding lumping both these games together, because there really isn't too much to talk with a lot of these. But we at least wanted to cover these games because I think they're worth your time.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So graphic wise, as Keith already alluded to, you see a massive drastic difference when it comes to graphics from 1 to 2. The first one is so flat looking. It's definitely straight 2D. With like 2 though, it's more of like a 2.5D. It definitely has way more pop-up imaging and it looks way more detailed. Graphics and characters look so much better. The first one's very flat.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot to say if you want to do. Like, and I think the biggest part of that is the enemies in the first and the second one are actually mostly the same. They're just more detailed. So they didn't even really they did add new enemies. I take that back.
Yep.
But they didn't add a ton right off the gate. And it's still a lot of those same initial enemies. But again, graphically, like Steamworld Dig 2 is nice. And that's another reason that if I started with Dig 2, I wouldn't go back to 1. But I still stand by my earlier statement. Play 1 to truly appreciate what Steamworld Dig 2 is. Because I think they're both a fun and even slightly different experience because of like the gameplay being the same. The things we were talking about of like the fast travel mechanic versus the portal mechanic. Well, the portal one is just a far inferior way to play and it is frustrating. It's different and it changes how you play the game overall. So I don't know. I think both are worth playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say the enemy designs in 1 are super basic. Once again, and then once you go into 2, it is just so much better. I think I should have looked up the sales figures, but like 1 must have done so well for them that they had just way much more funding and were able to do 2. Because I know the first game, like I said, SteamWorld Defense, that was just, I think, like a super small game that they did. And so they ended up creating this, which is a slightly bigger game, and they ended up doing better. So it's like, all right, cool. Now we actually have money. Let's make a way better game. And SteamWorld Dig 2 just really is that much more significance better in quality in just every facet of the game. But yeah, as far as then the achievements go, I guess I'd recommend both of them for achievement hunters because, like I said, they're not terribly long games. The first one has some pretty hard ones. Like I said, to beat the game without dying once, which if you follow key strategy and just kind of ignore enemies, it's not that hard to do. There is height damage. You can die from hazards, but this game isn't Spelunky. You're not dealing with like hazards constantly being thrown at you. They're pretty easy to see until you get to the end. And then also to beat the game in like under an hour and a half, which also isn't very hard if you know what you're doing. Once you beat this game one time, if you pick it up again, you're going to start rolling through it because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm well over halfway through and I think I put an hour in. I'm not going to get that achievement at this rate, but it is, I think, doable. And then for the second one is just pretty generic achievements too. They're not that hard. It's not a very long game. I didn't do Liz's job. I didn't look up our scores.
I was just looking at mine, and based on 2.5 hours in Steamworld Dig 1, I had 180 gamer score, which isn't terrible. And then Steamworld Dig 2, I had 180, and it says 9.5 hours or 9 hours, but I have a feeling a bunch of those are paused hours.
As you tend to do.
Well, especially I'll like fire it up and then I'll go start like making dinner, sit down and play for a little bit, go back to making dinner. Anywho, yeah, 200, what's that, 380 total in, I'd say, at least 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. Not a ton, but I think if you were really focusing on it more, then you would easily be able to exceed what I did.
See, I only have 150 with like an hour gameplay. That's on Xbox. I originally played this game on PC, on Steam. Steam. Maybe that's where this came from. But no. But yeah, I played most of my time there. So, and I have a lot of the achievements there. On Steamworld Dig 2, I have 250. That's it. Oh.
It's more than I have.
Yeah, but it's not hard to beat you.
No, that's fair. I'm still rounding in closer and closer to 300. All right, I'm working on it.
All right, but I guess we can get our final thoughts then, Keith. So for me, Steamworld, like I said, both these games are definitely worth your time. They're very simple and easy. You don't have to listen to the audio. It's just something you could kind of be mindless on. You're not going to get frustrated. It's not a very hard game, but they're definitely they're fun. It's a fun, interesting world to kind of explore. It's just like the endorphin hit of just digging and getting the gold, started getting the better resources to get more money, seeing that money roll in, start to upgrade your characters, feeling those upgrades. This game and both these games are just a lot of fun. You're not going to be spending months playing this game. There's not a lot of replayability with them, but what's here is just simple. It's especially too, if you're not crazy about Metroidvania games, some of them can be very hard. Steamworld Dig 2, I didn't find it very difficult. I think I died a handful of times, but it's just, the mechanics of it are just a lot of fun. Steamworld Dig 1, I'm going to give a 75. Steamworld Dig 2, I'll give an 83.
Okay. So I feel like I did that thing where I did a lot of summarizing way too early, but the more I've talked myself into it, I think that if you want to play Steamworld Dig 2 at all, Steamworld Dig 1 is a definite game to play. I really think that even if you don't beat it, for all the reasons that I've said, and I'm not going to repeat them as I have throughout the episode, I think it makes playing the second one just that much more fun and interesting, and all that to say. The biggest thing about this is it's just my stupid mindless type of gameplay of just, like you said, dig down, collect, return, sell, upgrade, repeat. And as you upgrade, you get to dig further because you have more powerful things so that you can just carry on the same pace of upgrading and repeating. Not roguelike, but very much the same idea for my stupid brain. So I really like Steamworld Dig 2 a lot more. That one I would put into, I think 83 is a good score. I'm just going to copy you because I don't think it's much higher than that, but I think in the 80s is a solid score. If you couple it with Steamworld Dig 1, then I think you can bring Steamworld Dig 1 up to a 79 overall, but as it stands by itself, 75 also fits. So,
well, real original, Keith.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I was doing some of Liz's job in the background here, of looking up some Metacritic scores because I was hoping I could find our old friend, and I haven't yet. But what I found fascinating is the only negative user score I can find. Well, the worst user score I can find on Steamworld Dig 1. It's a 2. And he wrote a lot. I'm not going to read it all.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting idea, decent art direction. It really, his summary is that it tries to be a Metroidvania, it tries to be a platformer, it tries to do a couple different things, but nothing really sticks as a solid point. Fair. Anyways, he gave it a 2. So then I was curious, what else did Dweevil Dude decide to review? Well, the only other review that Dweevil Dude did was 11 months later in November, Steamworld Dig again, but for PC instead of 3DS, and gave it a 3. And his review is the exact same, except he added the sentence, "It's not completely horrible, so let's start with the positive. The game has an interesting idea and decent art direction. Unfortunately, that's not enough to carry the game at all." And then copy and pasted his 2 out of 10 review and gave it a 3 out of 10. I don't know what happened in his world, but he got happier. So good for you, man.
I like this guy just was like, I want to go on Metacritic and only review Steamworld Dig.
That's
no other game.
Only thing he has ever done in his life on as far as Metacritic is concerned. But otherwise, it's got, what was it?
On Steamworld Dig, it's 82. Steamworld Dig 2 is an 88.
Yeah.
So apparently we're actually rating it lower than Metacritic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't really appreciate. I feel like I, in spirit, appreciated what Steamworld Dig was, but my score didn't reflect.
But yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, this might be also one of our shortest episodes.
I think we still managed to eke out 45 minutes out of this. But yeah, we will get back to form. That's some way or another.
I know we've been struggling here. As I said previous episodes, me and Liz just had a baby. We're still trying to get into new routines, doing things. So this is our second kid, so it's been a fun adventure. But and we're also trying a new audio program, so this will also be another fun adventure. But yeah, thank you so much to our Patreon members, Squid Kill, Nerd Talk Plus, PTS Daddy. Thank you guys. Your guys' continuous support is why we're able to upgrade the show more, and hopefully we can start improving the quality here, get more YouTube videos out and whatnot. But I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live, Firebird Zoom 1952. Go to our link tree or go to GamePassGrabBag.com, which bring you to our link tree. You can find all our videos, all our links to our YouTube, our Twitter, Patreon. But yeah, we also really need to start getting into the list of requests, Keith. We've been having a growing list, and we have not been doing any of them.
Okay. Sorry, everybody.
But anyway, Keith, do your outro, I guess.
Oh, I feel like I should try and do something longer. Just, I don't know, fill in for Liz or
really? I don't know.
Elephant. Bye, everybody.
Really? That was your attempt?
No, but that's what Liz would do.
All right, well, we love you all. We'll see you again next week.